Hello again, Struck Web. I'm back to streaming Torchlight Frontiers today. And I will start off by playing a bit of my The Blast and the Furious build with Radiant Blast and Holy Fury. I've uploaded it today on YouTube. It's kind of not probably the most meta build, but it's no most meta, dabbling on the most. Not the meta build, but it is fun. It does have kind of a meta skill in the face of entropy. So in a way, if you want to focus more on the entropy, you could still have some more damage. I'll quickly just post on Discord that I'm live, just to So let's first see what maps I've got. I also don't have much room for gear, so I'll quickly go and put some gear where I can. While I was doing my build crafting today, I kind of took a lot of gear with different bonuses. So yeah, with enough items that increase the damage of Holy Fury does seem decent enough to be viable. Even though we did get some nerfs, with enough items, I mean not that increase the damage of Holy Fury, I mean with decrease of the energy cost, but you need at least 20%, even 25% decreased energy cost. So something like this and this is great for this build. Probably I'm gonna remove this chance to poison item. I don't think I really need it. So I'm gonna go back to my gear farming set. Oh fuck, I was trying to get it from the wrong place. Not sure where I left it. Did I leave it here? Also there's some room here, so let's put this there. Or maybe we can put some of the boots here. So looking for something with an empty gloves compartment. No. No, okay. Well, at least I can just grab my helmet. I think that's the one I was using. And this one would actually be removed. Just trying to get rid of stuff I don't really need. Okay, I think I'm gonna go for this setup. I'm kind of low on space, and currently I can't afford to get more storage space or anything. But I think I saw some places where I can put those shoulders, and I think there's another shoulder that I can put into some of those places there. Okay, this didn't have shoulders, so let's put this here. Maybe this, let's put this here. Okay, I think that's good enough. Now let's do a goblin map. I've got only one. And then after this I'm gonna see what to do. I'm probably gonna go and craft some maps or go on another character. Next up on the build agenda would be a forged build, the melee only forged build for tomorrow. Last night in my stream I found out that I can get the cooldown of Vortex Bomb to 1.7 seconds, which is basically you're almost spamming it in between your other skills. But maxed out with maxed out shotgun blast on my forged, I kind of am trying to gain heat fast enough to be able to spam Vortex Bomb, and that's the only problem with that build. If I didn't have shotgun blast maxed out, I would have been able to probably kind of get my energy, not energy, but get my steam up fast enough with just spinning with cycle. Okay, here on this map I usually go left lane all the way up, then right lane all the way down, and right lane back to the boss fight. I'm doing a double HP map, so mobs would actually die twice as fast if the double HP. Let's check, let's group them up. See, even Radiant Blast can one-shot things. And that's without a damage shrine. So yeah, if I play with entropy more, of course it would be more meta. But I'm trying to like focus on the aspect of beaming. Dark Spears also helps me with some mana regen buff. Because Dark Spears on a lot of enemies really helps with stacking this white bar. Did you see that? Just for a few enemies it all went to like 20-25% up. So if I were to spam Dark Spears, I would probably have no problems with the mana at all. I mean, not probably, surely. I did mess up though. I had four points left, and I wanted to spend them on dark skill. No, I wanted on white bar charge gain. I wanted to gain the white bar faster, but I spent them on dark bar charge gain. So those last 4 points, instead of on Absolver, I should have put into Energy Spike. But even with that, I'm kind of okay. I'm kind of happy the way it is. It's not your average Energy Spike build or your average entropy build with Energy Spike. And Radiant Blast is very nice. It's actually a very cool skill. Look at that, it one-shot those, and with what's it called, damage shrine, with a power shrine, I could one-shot a yellow enemy with Radiant Blast, with the double damage shrine. I think it had like 95-90% HP before I did the Radiant Blast. Then it wagged out, as it was seen in my build video. It wagged out and suddenly his HP went all the way down to 0. Probably was a crit. So yeah, if you stack the damage shrine with consecration, it would be even very good on bosses.
Hey man, waving hand.
Hey Mukia Mursu, nice to see you again on my stream. How are you tonight? Playing a slightly different build today with the beam skill, with Holy Fury. I uploaded the build video for this this specific build today, so I'm just playing around with it. I made it this morning. Oh, Neverwinter, nice. I did like playing it some time ago. I haven't for a while, but eventually I didn't like it. It felt a bit clunky, but that was long ago. That was when it had like one of its expansions, the big expansions. I think maybe the second or third expansion. It's when I last tried Neverwinter.
Yet I last played it 4 years ago too.
There were a lot of expansions. I keep seeing through the Arc launcher, which for is located on. Um, I've been
I
seeing
also started
when there's a...
FF14.
Oh, this is nice. If I had the money to be able to pay enough for subscriptions for Final Fantasy, I would have been playing it. The last subscription game I played was Elder Scrolls Online. I actually had a subscription there going on for a while. I even forgot about that subscription and it was taking some cash off of me for like a couple of months or so before I stopped it. But that was like a year ago. But I really didn't like Elder Scrolls that much. I didn't even get to max level. I got to like 1 or 2 levels before the max before I got bored. I did
Wait,
like the PvP
SO
though.
has subsystem? Isn't it buy to play?
Elder Scrolls has a premium like subscription system, like a VIP system that allows you all the content without having to buy the expansions. So it allows you access to the dungeons, at least back then when I played. It allowed you access to all the dungeons without having to buy the DLCs. So you either have an option to buy the DLCs to unlock some dungeons, or you can just pay monthly to have all of those unlocked for you. This is how Elder Scrolls Online used to be. I did enjoy the Elder Scrolls Online PvP though. Even on the under level 50 PvP bracket, I was doing kind of nice when I get some good group that was sticking together and focusing on the objective. We did get some very nice games. But eventually, I don't know, the game seemed too much like Guild Wars 2 to me, and I've played too much of Guild Wars 2 and I didn't want to play a game that's like kind of almost the same in regards to the faction system, like the world v world kind of content and the structured PvP and so on. But I did like that there's different play modes compared to the Guild Wars 2 PvP in Elder Scrolls Online. Days, Elder Scrolls did manage to hold me even from the early leveling days while I was like Wobby. I did level up a bit with just PvPing instead of questing. I did like the dungeons though, and there were some fun builds, and there was some nice scaling of the enemies in different zones. So like you can see some Wobby killing enemies, the same exact enemies as level 50 is killing, but they would all be getting rewards for their level. So this was kind of nice. Let me just check for Luminous Run. I should have kept my Luminous Run boots with me. Okay, I'm gonna do this until I reach the boss. The forged build I found yesterday with not zero, but with 1.7 seconds cooldown on Vortex Bomb. I do want to play more around that today, but first I want to do a few maps on this character.
You need more mana.
BRB.
Alright, dude. Let's see what pet I'll get. I really am hoping for the healing or the stun pet. Although if it were up to me to decide whether it's the healing or stun, I would prefer the healing. Oh, this is a very nice sword. This is an amazing blue sword for shock. If I combine it with this chance to poison, it will be nice. Although I'm currently stacking crit chance from here and crit chance from here, together with the crit damage from this. Something with extra burn duration, not bad. Right, let's go to my fort. Oh, fuck, I shouldn't have gone to my fort. I should have gone to the Imperial outpost via... Now I'm gonna go through an extra loading. Oh, the game glitched on me. Okay, let's buy a high vid map maybe. I'm just gonna buy one, do it, and then I'm gonna go on a different character maybe. Actually, let's buy two. Let's do two maps, two high vid maps on this character, and then next I can go on whatever. I did buy Borderlands 3 today, by the way, like the Super Deluxe Edition. So now I'm just gonna wait for the release date, September 13th, before they send me my key. So we'll be ready. I'm really hoping that everything that was said about the Borderlands 3 Twitch extension is actually the way it was set. That viewers can get some of the loot you get from chests. And the features that were mentioned for that extension are also like viewers would be able to see what you have in your bags and what build you've got running on at the moment. Like proper integration between Twitch and the game. I'm hoping more games would follow Borderlands 3's example and do something like this for streamers. Proper integration. Book of Demons had a very nice integration for streamers, I remember, and I think Vermintide had something where you can just get your viewers to spawn some hard enemies for you. But I'm not sure about Vermintide, but I do know about the Book of Demons version where it had abilities for the viewers to spawn some stuff and to make it more difficult for the streamer. So it's gonna be probably the same with the Borderlands 6. 1 month and a half, even less. So we will know soon. Hey Soulthorn, thank you for the follow on Mixer. Nice to see you. You've been following me on all 3 platforms if I remember correctly now. Much appreciated, dude.
You need mana.
Currently there is some problems with the software I use for restreaming and the chat with Mixer. So whenever I'm typing messages to all platforms, kind of the Mixer chat is not receiving. But at least the streaming works. I do know many Xbox viewers prefer to watch on Mixer. Probably that's just the way Microsoft made it to be more convenient. Oh, let's blast those. I love blasting those elites. Bam! This didn't do much damage. Sometimes it does a lot of damage, I don't know why. Sometimes it barely does any damage to the enemies I blast. Maybe just I just need to give them some more time to make sure they're spawned. Let's see now. Yeah, this barely did like a quarter of his HP, but it didn't crit, so maybe if it crit it would have done like my crit damage should be 250%, 260%, so it would have done way more. This one didn't do any damage at all, so I've been finding some issues with Radiant Blast not actually probably registering the hits if I do it too soon. Sometimes it just one-shot stuff like just now. It is a fun skill and it's very underestimated, very underplayed skill, so I'm gonna be playing it more often on the mage. I'm not sure what other mage builds I wanna be making, so for now maybe I'm gonna keep this build until the next respec. At least we know more skills are coming, probably with update 8. Whatever's on the trail board should be coming probably with update 8, the things that are in the, not the long-term goals, but the short-term goals. Usually the stuff that's on the short-term goals, most of that makes it into the next update, into the next big update. So I'm assuming, and that's just a guess on my end, that the new frontier would be coming with update 8. It even rhymes. Those tentacles, by the way, are very nice to open. Sometimes you can find blue gear in those. Kind of short on cash, so I'm gonna start looting green and oh, let's get those. Wanna see something. Now Radiant Blast did decent damage. Of course it was consecrated Radiant Blast, so should have done a lot of damage regardless. I'm really happy that they fixed the spiderlings though. It really does feel nice when you have an army of spiders running after you. And this build works with any relic weapon. I made it in such a way that regardless what weapon you put, you would still have some choices. And ideally you would not spend any points into the active skill. If you want to be using all of those skills, you wouldn't have room for the active skill, so you can get all those extra points and just spend them on something more useful. I've included examples of ideal setups, which I don't have at the moment, but I've included those examples in my video. Some theory crafted via Photoshop images of how the relic points should be spent with different choices. Like, I think for the poison and fire relic weapon the best would be 10, 0, 10, 20. So 10, 0, 10, 20 is the best choice, I think, for the burning and for the poison relic. Whereas for the bleeding relic there's a lot of different ways you can spend it. You can go for 20, 0, 20, 0, or for 10, 0, 10, 20, or for 15, fuck, just a second, 15, 0, 25. There's a lot of differences. The Bleeding Relic offers some very nice gameplay with Rupture. If you want to center around Rupture, it's very cool to do so. So 20 points in Rupture is never a bad choice if you're not using the skill bar option for the Relic weapon. Okay, this boss was kind of melted. I'm really hoping with the addition of the new Hivit boss, we would be seeing tougher boss fights in the Hivit map. I'm also hearing stuff about competitive stuff in the game being added later on. Like they're currently experimenting with the idea of competitive elements into the game. So stuff like who will finish a map faster and having like leaderboards or something for each map or something like that maybe, or who would be able to do a boss fight faster or things like this. And they're also experimenting with PvP, but PvP would require a lot of balancing, PvP is a huge challenge for an ARPG game to make right. Even Path of Exile, the behemoth of an ARPG, kind of has the PvP just for fun, but it's nowhere near balanced. But it is fun eventually every now and then just to mess around with some weird builds in there. Fear again. I keep seeing fear on the gear that drops. Okay, let me do one more Hivit map and then I'm gonna go on the Realmaster or the Forged. I do want to play around with the 1.7 second vortex just to see how far I can push it. If I can get another item with cooldown reduction to Vortex Bomb. But the Vortex Bomber build would be kind of like playing in Diablo 3 a Condemn build on the Crusader. Because 1.7 seconds is more than enough to make it spammy. By the time you've done the animation and you've casted another skill, you can already cast Vortex Bomb. Currently the problem I'm having with the Vortex Bomb build is my Steam. My Steam doesn't charge too fast because I was doing the regular thing people do on Forged, going for Steam Dissipation, and I maxed out Shotgun Blast. Because I currently have or was it 6? Should be 5, yeah. The 5 bro skills on the Forged class. So servo driven, Cyclone, Rapid Strikes, and Vortex Bomb. I've included all of those into a single build, which will be uploaded tomorrow. I will be playing it in a moment after this map. I can probably do some Goblin Frontier maps, because I did hit 47 in the Hivit Frontier on my Forge, so now I can equip level 50 items from that frontier, from the Hivit Frontier. Now my goal would be doing the same with Goblin Frontier, but it will take a while knowing that there are so many low XP maps in the Goblin Frontier in its current state. I think there's 2 good maps currently in the Goblin Frontier. That's the Underground Excavation, and then there's the Bone Crypt. If the boss is fixed, judging by the patch notes it is. then it will be nice to at least have two good maps on that frontier. You can see even Dark Spear sometimes one-shots those little ones. I think I'm going the wrong way. Yeah. Should go here first. Those little spiders actually are a very good source of damage and they add up. So the Bane weapon is just great. Currently I think all relic weapons are amazing if used the right way to suit your build. They do give an extra layer of depth to the build making and can further emphasize on a certain aspect of a certain build that you want to focus. Such is the summoning build on the mage. I want to experiment with the Realm Master build as well that uses the shield car and the Bane relic for the spiderlings. So you can just probably use flank picks staying next to your car and just or maybe even using dynamites and ghost train staying close to your car, in the meantime letting the car do the damage. And the spiders do some more damage for you. I do wish there were items that modify the damage types of certain skills, like flying picks or blasting charge being able to poison the enemies even if they do less damage. It would have been amazing.
We don't have enough mana.
Or Radiant Blast being able to freeze instead of knock back enemies. Or even burn them, removing the knockback animation, the knockback effect, maybe reducing the effect by applying some burning over time instead of regular damage. I did write this, some of those things I just said in the forums today when they were asking us for feedback about the legendary state in the alpha forums. I did suggest to make some legendary weapons that actually modify the skills even visually. Like not game breaking, balanced changes, but making for some different sort of play style. Like mostly adding some different elements to different skills for builds oriented around certain relic weapons.
Your inventory is full.
Or something like reducing the damage of Holy Fury by 50% but making it a 2-beam skill. So when you're at the center, the 2 beams meet, but when you go in a different direction, the beams kind of split up when you start going left, right, or something like that. Wilson did something similar. I'm not sure exactly how the mechanic is done, how the math behind the skill works, but it did split up if you start beaming and going further from in front of your. Another thing would be energy spike. It currently does two rows of spikes with a lot of spikes coming from the ground, but if you reduce the number of spikes coming from the ground but make it a 3-row skill. It would allow for a more flexible playstyle. It won't be as powerful against single targets if you per se make it overall less powerful for single bursting, but for covering a big area of enemies, a wider area, let's say. But all of this, I'm talking not about changes to the skills themselves, but changes to the skills via items, via legendary items that give you those changes. This will incentivize players to farm certain items for certain builds if they want to experiment with them, and they will not be game-breaking builds, just offering a different playstyle. It's not like other ARPGs don't do similar things, giving you unique items that kind of change the behavior of different skills. I thought for a while that relic weapons would be something like this, but I guess not, and it's fine the way relic weapons are now. They're kind of more of a skills and passive skills instead of modifiers for the current skills. Now let's see. I've got a shock, poison, and cooldown for vortex bomb. See, if this didn't give me too much steam dissipation, it would have been amazing. Just the cooldown for vortex bomb and maybe some crit chance or crit damage or whatever, or chance to freeze or chance to poison. So you can see if only I had a way other than rapid fire to gain a lot of steam. Currently my only way to get a lot of steam would be rapid fire. Even shotgun blast isn't as fast as I might want it to be. So yeah, after the cooldown is over, I just have to wait a few seconds if I'm using shotgun blast. I'm not sure what else could help. Servo driven uppercut probably could help. But yeah, for now I'm gonna play my melee only build. Hopefully this helps. The steam. So this is gonna be currently what I'm playing. Oh, let me tell. So okay, let's do some goblin maps now. I'm gonna switch to goblin potions. Let's craft the basic ones because I don't have money for the expensive ones. So let's just do something like this. I'm not there for the gear currently, I'm there for the levels. I haven't played on the Goblin Frontier in a while with this class, mostly due to the broken map and the missing Pillage Village. I hope they add Pillage Village with the next hotfix. forked and his 8-legged allies. Very powerful combination. So yeah, since I'm trying out the melee only build, I can't just bring my cannon and shoot the enemies. Although not using the cannon is kind of weird on a class like this. I do think every build needs to at least use one cannon skill, but I would still prefer to show a build without the cannon if someone wants to play such a build. Alternative version would be something like this. Instead of those spiders, if you don't have the Bane relic, you can just use poison dart to be able to poison the enemies. Let's use that speed shrine to help me go through this zone. I always go for the side areas. I always try to cover every single part of the map. Oh no, I should not have taken this. Now I won't be able to. When I take this shrine, I'm kind of kicking myself, shooting myself in the foot. Because now I won't be able to do vortex bomb to get steam. So for single target damage, this skill is great when it hits. The only problem I have with servo driven uppercut is sometimes it just really doesn't hit. The enemy is right in front of you, you're doing the skill, but it just won't hit sometimes. The same that's happening with Slug Shot or Ghost Rain. Enemy right in front of you just doesn't want to get hit. Even this Venomous mode sometimes has this. But it's alpha, so things like that will be fixed as long as we report them.
Vent key to use more skills.
And it's always best to report it when it happens, so they can get some information about the map seat or whatever. If the bug is related to a certain map seat, certain conditions that were met in the creation of the map. Look at this, you can just stun walk a target with servo driven. There's one thing I wish this skill would have in regards to behavior. If I were to hold it like this, I expect my character to go towards the target instead of start casting the skill. So I think the skill should not start casting itself if your mouse is over the enemy that is 20 meters away until it's within range of the enemy. And look at that. Instead of my character going towards the enemy, he immediately starts doing the skill. So the skill should be more intelligent, like the character when casting this skill should be more intelligent and move towards the target that's out of range of the skill. This is a melee skill, so it should not be cast when it's outside of range. It should either tell you that the target is not within range, or preferably the better choice would be the character would immediately go towards the target. So look at this, now I'm holding my mouse and it just doesn't want to go there, and this is what I mean. I'm gonna quickly report this. I think this is fine. Like if they add the mechanic of melee weapons to the behavior, to the attack behavior of this skill, to the targeting behavior, whatever you want to call it, then it will be a fix. If you just want it to do the exact same thing a basic attack of a melee weapon does when you target a distant enemy, until it's within range of this skill, then it would just immediately start doing that skill.
Time to vent heat. You are overloaded.
This is some nice cannon. This is also not bad, but I think I already have something similar. Let's check the armor. So which will give me more DPS? The one with the flat damage currently. If only I could wood items directly to my pet. This is something I would suggest. Like maybe holding control or whatever, not control, holding some button or pressing some button while hovering an item would make your pet go and wood it straight into the pet inventory instead of having to wood it in your bag and then transferring it to the pet. So yeah, before I forget it, I'd rather send the feedback. Oh, there's a chest actually. Okay, so far not bad XP for this map, for 45. Oh, that XP just from one map. Damage powdrons. I think I already have some. So the channeling glitch is still there. I just tried it. Now I'm holding my right mouse button, and now I'm holding the left mouse button without holding the right mouse button. It's still casting this skill while I'm holding this skill. So I was hoping this would be fixed with this patch that hit us yesterday, but it didn't get fixed. So things like Holy Fury, Rapid Fire, Rapid Strike, Swag Shot, Cyclone, all those things would be glitching every now and then due to this thing. Of course, it's not easy to fix bugs, so it may take a while to get that fixed. Hopefully by next week or in 2 weeks, maybe it would be back to the way it was before. It was working fine before, so I guess just something that they added with the new updates might have just messed around with this behavior. Okay, now I was trying to do my rapid strike, it was still doing Cyclone. The good thing about killing enemies with Venomous Maw is it poisons them before they die, so you can still spawn the spiders if you're not doing poison with your skills, with your weapons. I'm still not sure whether the melee only build should be with poison or with bleeding. With bleeding, with the spinning blade, you would have some nice extra damage and bleeding stacks. But with the poison damage, you would have some spiders running around you, and this will also give you some nice damage boost. Not as much on bosses, unless it's bosses like this one where you have some adds to kill, or Wide Vault that spawns his adds himself at the 25, 50, 75% HP. Okay, back to the outpost, and I'm gonna start another one of those white maps. reading the interview Max gave for the escapist, um, there's some things that I can take out of the interview and just I don't know how to take them, but I'm assuming the legendary maps we saw in the contract season would either also be available as rewards in the upcoming contract seasons, or would be buyable from the frontier traders, which is fine. I mean, I don't care whether someone is playing a map with 50% gear luck that they paid a dollar or whatever for. While I'm playing maps with 20%, for me this is not game breaking. It's after all a co-op game, it's a water game. And there's also gold maps. So there were legendary maps with 50% increased chance for extra gold and 50% increased chance for dropping gear. And they were in bundles of 5 maps. So if they sell like such maps in the launch from this shop, it will be, I think, something that people wouldn't mind about. At least I know I won't, and many other people probably wouldn't. Or if they do it like they did before in the contracts. The contracts have two, two, two lanes. One lane is free for the free users, the other lane is the premium user lane. And you can buy like access to the premium lane for like something, let's say $9 or $10 or whatever price they decide to put. And in there they gave us before. It was free for everyone as a test, but in there they gave us some of those map bundles. So maybe that's how they're gonna be adding those maps later on in the contract system. And in the interview, Max said he mentioned those maps with better wood as a monetization kind of thing. I'm seeing enough legendaries as it is, even without opening maps with 50% gear luck. I'm seeing enough legendaries and enough blue items while leveling to don't mind people having extra 30% gear luck. He also mentioned something about the third frontier coming soon, so judging by that interview, maybe it really is coming with the next big update after a couple months or so. It is a fun interview. If you haven't read it, let me know. I'll bring the link for you guys. I can actually go while it's loading. Maybe I would need to rework my character because I guess I'm stuck on the loading. I got disconnected. Okay. I was smelling that something happened. It just seemed weird. It seemed weird that couldn't load into a map for so long. I thought I was disconnected, so this confirms it. So this is the interview I read today. I saw it from the travel board under one of the things. One of the things added on travel had this link, so I just quickly checked it. I did lose another map. Not pleasant losing money like this when you get disconnected or whatever. Another thing that's mentioned in the interview is what was it, 60 to 80 hours? Let me quickly check. 80 hours of content. Well, yeah, if you count the leveling up after finishing the campaign, probably it is 60 to 80 hours. But I don't think it's fair to say it's 60 to 80 hours of content if you count the end game grinding. I think what should be counted as current content in the game would be the time it takes you from level 1 until completing the campaign in one frontier, and from level 1 until completing the campaign in the other frontier. And I don't think that adds to 60-80 hours. Maybe with all the grinding to level 100 it would add to 60 hours, but that's not content, that's grinding maps after level 30 something on each frontier. This is the only thing I felt was weird in the interview, but of course this is an alpha, so maybe he was including content we don't know about, like the third frontier, in this calculation. And if the third frontier is included in this calculation, yeah, of course the numbers would be that high. Cemetery. Yeah, this map I still have no idea where the good spawn spots are on this map and which spots to avoid. So look at that. There were just 2 enemies around those traps. This is a new map, but maybe they just wanted us to see it as a design, to give them some feedback what the maps feels like. Yeah, they didn't spawn places, how it's called, spawn markers or whatever. So there definitely should be more places where enemies spawn, and some enemies that spawned. Nice. I think around the boss it's nice, like the density around the boss near the boss fight has some enemies that are already spawned or spawning, so this is kind of what it should be. About the whole map, more consistent. See that they're already working on adding new layouts for the maps after we told them that we do need some more variety. The whole map has the same density as this little, I think, middle of the map. It would be nice, it would feel kind of like the Pillage Village does. To hear that Max has already a 5-year plan for the game in regards to content that will be coming each few months. And yeah, I was refreshing the Warhammer Chaos Bane Steam page and not to my surprise or anything, I did see the most recent reviews are already very negative, because people have been getting bored and changing their reviews from positive to negative. Bane game, I probably would do the same. I would for the game, even though I liked and enjoyed playing it, enjoyed making builds for it. The developers are silent. For over a month they haven't given they abandoned the game. I also feel that way. I'm thinking like they just kind of did like a cash grab on them. I had good hopes for Warhammer Chaos Bane. I did want to see the game progress and get updated regularly so I could play it, stream it, make build videos, but I guess that's not what the developers had in mind for the game from the get-go. Probably they didn't sell enough copies, so they didn't get enough money to continue development of Chaos Bane. Bet mostly for the damage. The cyclone damage is 0.6 more than what I'm wearing. But I really don't need the cooldown for cold launch, not when Vortex Bomb can have its cooldown that low from some items. Just gonna bin this. I read an interview from some French ARPG site about hack and slash games where the CEO of the Echo Software company, the company that made Chaos Bane, he gave it some like a week ago or so to this French website. Thankfully Google Translate translated the website for me so I could kind of read the interview. But he was very vague when it came to answering some of the questions. And I'm not sure whether this was just a PR stunt to get more people to buy the game, or if I don't hear from Chaos Bane soon, I probably won't be bothering in the next few months, even if they release some updates.
Good luck on your travels.
A lot of potential just wasted, probably on the wrong people to take the franchise. Be hoping no one does something bad to Dungeon Siege. Dungeon Siege 3 was kind of a letdown. I still enjoyed playing it for a bit, but this is another great franchise like Diablo, Sacred, and Torchlight that I've been playing in my teenage and early 20 years. Remake, like make a new series or make a more like the same way Torchlight Frontiers is doing. If someone takes the Dungeon Siege franchise and makes something similar within it, I would be very happy. A single player with local multiplayer or lobby based multiplayer like Grim Dawn and I would still be happy to buy and play a new Dungeon Siege game. A lot of potential. The same goes for the Sacred universe. Sacred or Sacred, or don't know how to pronounce it correctly in regards to the game being German or German made. But that's another franchise, especially Sacred 2, the Gold Edition. I did spend a lot of time playing that before when I was younger. So those are classic ARPGs that currently in the state the ARPG market is quality Full HD 4K remakes of the old games with new textures, new engines, even if it's the exact same story, or complete or new reboots of the franchise or whatever. It's a shame that for years we haven't heard anything from either the Siege or the Sacred franchise. Last I remember, Sacred was kind of not as good as we expected. The same happened with Dungeon Siege, except I think it didn't get sold to a different company. The ARPG market is it's old and new generation players. Before, ARPGs weren't the most played. We didn't have online being such a big thing. We used to just buy the copy, buy the expansions, play it at home, play it with some friends via one parties and stuff. Hamachi, back then when we didn't have Tungo and stuff like that. So it does feel great playing Torchlight Frontiers, knowing it's like the successor of a franchise we used to play a lot when we were younger. .4 already has been in development for a few months.
Time to vent.
We haven't gotten much news, but I'm assuming maybe next year they would give us a bit of news about Diablo 4, even if it's just some teaser or whatever. The game probably wouldn't release until 2022 maybe, or 2023 or so. To take their time before releasing a big title like Diablo franchise title or a StarCraft franchise title or whatever. That Blizzard would have actually done what many of the fans wanted, and that was a StarCraft franchise ARPG like Diablo style, but with the StarCraft franchise, or a shooter. StarCraft franchise shooter would have been so nice, would have been amazing. If it was something single player like Quake, Doom, etc. Story. Maybe Activision wants the wood boxes added in the game, so that's why they don't want the StarCraft shooter to be like a single player thing, or just even a thing at all. So far this melee build. Oh, why am I doing Hive-It? My bad, I wanted to be doing Goblin. Well, Hive-It every now and then doesn't feel that bad. My Goblin Frontier. Also, after this map I'm just gonna go on my Realm Master, just to make things a bit less stale. Playing the same character for too many maps in a row might result in more fatigue. Believe me, I know. I've spent like when I was playing my Realm Master and my Mage, and when I was leveling those up, I was focusing only on the character I was leveling with, just a bit of swapping every now and then, but majorly leveling. Oh nice, I love this shrine. Spiders doing their thing. Okay, something's slightly lagging me out. Oh, a bleeding mace, nice. I already know the design, I know it's a bleeding mace. Stuff with 2 times the crit chance. I think I already have one, so I'm just gonna sell this one. I think a double HP map, no wonder those egg pods take that much to kill. Too much to kill. Let's see this maze. Yeah, the bleeding maze. It's amazing though, a lot of bleeding. It's like 48.9, almost 50% chance to bleed, and 56% bonus crit damage. And the bleeding setup, it's a very nice weapon. The thing that can make it better is instead of blind to have crit chance, but even with the blind, this is a pretty solid choice as a bleeding one-hander. Now let's quickly go to the Rail Master for a couple of maps or so. With the shield car build. I haven't played the shield car build, so I'm wondering what to go for. Shield car cannot go with shotgun, so I can either do with the flamethrower, mortar car. If I wanna go for a more defensive build, of course shield car would be nice. Maybe a bleeding setup would be fun. I wanna try a bleeding setup with the shield car. I'm gonna go and grab my blood drinker. Let's take a poison setup. Let's take a poison setup for this one. Unfortunately, my good poison items are in the other characters, so I'm just gonna see what I have in regards to poison. Not a good one-handed poison weapon, but maybe I won't be able to get one. The organ grinder that is in my mage is amazing. And the bane is in the mage as well. Well, I'm gonna play with bleeding now. I'm gonna change later to a poison setup once I swap the poison weapon from my mage with the poison weapon, with the bleeding weapon, most likely actually. Want a more rupture oriented build. Let's see. This is 5, 10, 5. Leveling up a new one. More points in rupture. I'm not gonna play with this, but I wanted to start it. Play with this one because it has better cooldown. Oh, I can't move. Shit, I can't move. Okay, thank you, hammer spin. So this is a good bleeding weapon. No, this actually isn't. with the current rows. Just quickly checking anything that does bleeding. This is poison, shock. More shock. Oh, this is bleeding. Okay, I'll be using this then. It's not gonna give me damage, but it's gonna give me some bleeding. Or I had a skeleton sword somewhere. This is poison. Yeah, this is what I wanna use, bleeding. So chance to bleed and some flat damage would be fine.
That spell can't be cast.
Now let's do goblin maps. You get 2 items with bleeding, and you can get like over 90 something % chance to bleed. You would be doing ruptures almost all the time. Have spinning blade, which also gives bleeding to the enemies. If you don't care about the health pools, you can kind of do a rupture and spinning blade build. What I do wish is, I wish we didn't need to put 5 points to unlock this. I think all we need to unlock the other skills should be leveling up the weapon instead of putting points inside certain skills. I'll write this up as some feedback. So here I don't need the extra healing from the blood pools. I'm gonna go for extra damage to rupture maybe. Unlucky with the map, I'm just gonna rush to the boss.
You're exhausted.
Nerf a blasting charge yesterday. It's not so bad, but yeah, I guess they felt the skill was too powerful. Skill itself that was too powerful, it was making other skills more powerful. I'm not seeing anything wrong with having a skill like this. It gives you some extra vulnerability. I thought that the thing that needed to be nerfed is probably the cost. Should have been probably instead of 2 endurance, maybe 3 endurance. Then it could not be spammed to one after the other without a short delay.
You are exhausted.
Playing next to my train. Ideally, if someone is using shield card, they would try and get the shield card to be always next to them for that damage bonus and damage reduction. See, I can stack duration for vulnerable debuff from blasting charge from 2 items. 6 seconds, but probably it won't be actually 6 seconds. Let's see. I can't see the seconds. It doesn't show the seconds, but if I were to count... Oh, it applied bleeding, so it died. I'll quickly find another enemy just to check how many seconds this is. No enemies. Alright, next map. I want to see how long this duration would be. In this shitty map. Good map, but no enemies, so in a way it's shitty. Ah shit, my pet. Go to the town, pet. You're messing with my testing. Okay, I'm just checking on a timer. It's around 8 seconds. 8 seconds vulnerability instead of 6. With 16 and 15.6, so with 32 roughly percent increased duration. The train is having difficulties with keeping up.
You're feeling tired.
How good this shield build would be when the train is barely catching up to you. But at least it gives you a shield so you can run away from the train, then come back to it, and it gives you that bubble around you. Be good on boss fights such as White Wall though. Having this damage reduction on boss fights would stack up. And having the wood pools would actually be good for this build, since you can just soak some damage and hit you yourself when they die. Okay, enough with this character. I'm gonna go back to the mage. I want to go back to the town, and I don't want to go through two different loading screens just to go back to the town.
How much are you looking to spend? Thank you for shopping.
One thing that I think should be a feature is accessing other characters, other classes' wardrobe.
Anything catch your eye?
I'm wondering what build to play now. I'm just gonna probably keep playing this build for today. Let's see what maps I can craft. 700. I'm gonna craft some basic maps because I don't want to waste too much money. I don't have much room in my inventory to be able to loot items to give them to the pet, and this means I'm either forced to loot 1-2 items, give them to the pet, loot 1-2 items, give them to the pet, or just not loot anything. So it's kind of slow making money with this class currently. The game keeps giving me legendaries. Okay, yeah, this one I really don't need, I'm gonna sell it. I do wanna keep legendaries for when they add something like salvaging or whatever to do with unnecessary legendaries, but I really don't have any more room. Goat is really nothing, but I guess at least now with the drop rates of legendaries you don't feel like it's a waste to sell a legendary to the shop. Blast is nice, let's see. 7 gold from that chest. Situations like this one where you see where the enemies are spawning, Radiant Blast is nice because you can just wait for them to spawn and do Radiant Blast then. What element am I using? Poison, okay. Shooting little goblins. Nice when you do Radiant Blast and it just knocks them back like shit tons of meters away. Doesn't happen every time, but sometimes it has a very wide radius of the knockback.
You are wounded. You're gravely wounded.
This sphere, I think it's from my helmet, yeah. At least today I had the chance to finally max out Radiant Blast to test its damage, and it is, as I expected, a very good amount of damage. An AoE circular skill. The knockback.
You're close to dying.
Oh, it's a lethal map. No wonder I've been taking so much damage. Shit, disconnected. Second time today, or is it the third time? Even this wogged me out this time. It wasn't just a disconnect, it was just wogging me out. I got a good map and of course I'm gonna get a disconnect. Now it's probably gonna be another cemetery or a, what's it called, the Eerie Grove. Oh, crypt, that's nice. Now I'm gonna know whether the crypt was fixed. I was looking forward to testing a crypt map. Speed this map up and I'm gonna use entropy.
You don't have enough mana.
Okay, what of goat? Little map.
You need more mana.
I'd start using dark spears more often because I need mana.
You are overloaded.
Okay, stage 2.
You don't have enough mana.
This isn't bad.
You need mana.
Stuck, I couldn't. I was trying to move into the consecrated circle, but my character seemed to be stuck doing the Luminous Run. Not Luminous Run, but the Holy Fury. Yeah, I'm impressed by Radiant Blast.
Insufficient
I
mana.
was expecting good results, but maybe it's giving me slightly better results than I expected in regards to how much damage we are doing without Blast. Oh, and I just forgot. I haven't changed to my crit chance aura. Oh, I was not using the level up item. Should probably level up more relic weapons while playing with this mage. Just to level up relic weapons on the mage for me. Oh, did you see that glitch? I was walking and using Luminous Run. Okay. I know this has been reported, so maybe soon they would know what's causing it. Fixing the walking while doing a skill like Holy Fury would actually fix the other problems with the channeling skills. Stuck in their animation while doing something else. Okay, boss time. Oh, the relic's not ready, but regardless of that. So yeah, they fixed it. There is a boss fight finally again in this map. No! I entered my portal. I wanted to get that blue item, but it was right underneath my portal, and I forgot that this guy spawns portal wherever he dies. I'm not sure why they haven't changed. I'm gonna report it now. Not report it, but suggest to make it so that its portal spawns like someplace else, like probably around where we teleport. Where we teleport would be the best place to put it. Like we teleport from the start of the boss room to the lower part of the boss room, and over there there's some few meters between us and the boss. So if they place the portal there or somewhere else that's around the corners of the map, it would be nice. Because people usually don't kill the boss in those places, so the wood would not be there. This is also nice. I can kind of do a double voltaic setup with those. Oh, let's sell those items.
Good luck on your travels.
See what else I can do. I can do one more goblin map. Yeah, by porting away, I kind of missed the blue wood and the chest wood, whichever it was. I'll quickly mute my mic because it's already 12:30 though. The rest of the stream, which won't be too long, probably an hour, half an hour more, I'll be muting my mic. Already 12 past midnight, so I kind of have to. Just quickly giving a message here to indicate that my mic is muted. And okay, muting.
Okay, I'm finally back. Yeah, same time in here.
Not enough mana. Insufficient mana.
luck on your travels.
journeys have ended.
One key bliss. Tie. Cancelho to the letter, thank you for the follow and welcome to the Struck Club.
Your pet has arrived. You are overburdened.
Bye.